What's good, your 4-3 here back in today, and today guys we're here to go ahead and review all 7 cars of the brand new Topgear Car Pack, which has come out today, July 10th, 2018 guys, and I am so excited because just look at this car on your screen. The Ferrari 812 Superfast is finally here! I am so excited to go ahead and get behind the wheel of this, as well as the other 6 cars, because guys, this is one of my favorite car packs so far. I'm not gonna lie to you, this is a pretty damn cool car pack. I wish there was a little bit more diversity, as it's basically track toy, hypercar, supercar focused. But, you know, I still love it. I really do. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop on into it. So first up what we have is we have the brand new Ferrari 812 Superfast. And holy crap, guys, is this thing super fast. I mean, just look at this thing go through these corners. My god. It does want to get a little bit sideways though from time to time. So I would almost recommend, you know, if you do go ahead and do some tuning on this, go ahead, give it some wider tires, because that will help it overall, as well, possibly even using traction control in some parts, because this car is quite a handful, as it is, I believe, the most powerful Ferrari ever built. I think it's like more powerful than the LaFerrari and all those things. So of course this is bound to be a handful, and it's really not all that light either. It does feel kind of heavy, but overall it feels like a Ferrari. I mean, it handles exactly kind of how you would expect. It just really kind of wants to let its tail out just a little bit, and it's honestly a heck of a lot of fun. I mean, just look at this thing. I mean, I can already guarantee that, you know, just a little bit of tuning work and all that sort of stuff is going to make this car a really decent track goer. But, I mean, as you guys can see right here on my screen, this thing right now in its current state is a little bit of a handful. It needs some downforce. It needs some wider tires. It just does. The handling on this overall is pretty excellent, but, like, when you just want to go ahead and let the gas down, you got to be very careful and just sort of flutter it through each corner, because it just, if I go ahead and put the gas down, it does that. Which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that is a lot of fun. But if you're actually trying to go ahead and get a decent lap time in, maybe you want to go ahead and do some tuning before you go ahead and take this thing out, because it kind of needs it a little bit. It needs it just a little bit. So next up what we have something even crazier than the 812 Superfast, and that is the Exomotive Exocet. And holy crap, guys, this car is so insane. I did have to turn stability control on, because my god, this thing just wants to go everywhere. This thing is absolutely insane. I mean, just look at those tiny little tires on this thing. And when you think about the fact that basically this is a Miata with a Corvette V8 in it, you understand why this thing is out of control. It is just crazy quick, but as well it's got that big ass wing on the back, so when you do get to a corner, you are actually able to go ahead and maintain your speed pretty well through it. As you guys will see coming up here, we're actually going to go ahead and follow the brake line, and we're not really going to go out of bounds, which we normally would with some modern like supercars, like that 812 probably would have. So when you get up to speed, you're actually able to go ahead and maintain that speed due to how lightweight this car is. But when you actually do gotta slow down to make a tight corner like this one right here, and you go ahead and try and exit, you gotta make sure to be very careful on the throttle. Otherwise, you're just gonna end up doing crap like this. I mean, look at this. 3rd gear, and we are still spinning the wheels. I mean, my god. 4th gear, we're still doing it. Oh my god, I didn't know how long we were going to be able to hold that. But my gosh, this thing is absolutely insane. Just crazy. I want to see somebody drift this thing, because this has got a lot of drift potential, but it definitely needs some upgrades to be done to it. I mean, this thing is wild. Absolutely wild. So next up what we have the only car that I have seen so far that does not want to go ahead and get its tires spinning as we go through a corner, and that is the 1958 Alfa Romeo Giuletta Sprint Veloce. And holy crap, guys, this thing still ain't no slouch. I mean, for a little classic car, this thing has got a lot of get up and go for it. I mean, a lot of these, like, you know, 1950s cars that we get in the game, you know, from stock, they're pretty dang slow. But this thing, honestly, it's not that bad. It's actually got some get up and go. Look, we're reaching 100 miles an hour right there on that straightaway, which, I mean, is not great compared to something like, you know, the Ferrari 812 Superfast that we just had. But for a 1958 Alfa Romeo, this thing has got it going on. I mean, this thing wants to go. That's all it wants to do. It just wants to go. And in fact, I believe that this is the second most powerful version of this car that was made is the Sprint Veloce, because I believe that there was a Zagato version that had just a slight increase in power. But man, guys, this thing is a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun, guys. I'm honestly not too disappointed in this. This car looks absolutely fantastic. It drives really well and is making an excellent contribution to Forza Motorsport 7, if I do say so. And I cannot wait to go ahead and use this thing in the future. So next up what we have is we have the number 22 True Racing KTM Crossbow GT4. And holy crap, guys, this is now my new favorite car out of this car pack. This thing handles so well and is so quick through the corners. It is an absolute beast. I love it. It's almost as if this car was specifically built for the Top Gear test track. I mean, this thing is amazing. I am so in love with this car. I didn't know what to think of this because, for the most part, with the track toys like, you know, the KTM Crossbow, I've had hard times with it. You know, I mean, I like how it looks. I love how it looks, actually. But, you know, I was like, man, I can't really get, you know, the regular track toy Crossbow that was already in the game to, you know, really perform well. But this thing, oh my gosh, this thing is amazing. I love it. I am definitely going to be using this car in the future. My god, it is so good. Forza, thank you for letting me know about this. Apparently this car is already in Project Cars 2, but I didn't know about that because I don't play Project Cars 2. Like, a lot of people, there was one person who commented, like, how did you not know about this? It's in Project Cars. I don't play Project Cars, man. I don't have a wheel. I'm just using a controller. So I've kind of stayed away from the Project Cars franchise until I can actually get a wheel and, you know, be able to drive semi-decently around the track. I mean, that's all I can say. But guys, this thing is an absolute beast, and I love it. Thank you, Forza. Thank you so much. This is like a Christmas present. I had no idea this thing existed, and it makes me so happy. So happy. So after that, what we have is we have a highly requested car, being the Porsche 904 Carrera GTS. And guys, this thing, you know, it's basically a classic Porsche. We kind of already understand how these things handle. We've had quite a few classic Porsches in the game, so I'm not necessarily too surprised about it. But I mean, it handles halfway decently. You know, it's a race car for the road. That's what a lot of those classic Porsches are. This thing, literally, they only made like 150 or so just so that they could use it as a race car. I mean, that's the only reason that this car even exists, because this one is the specific road-going version. This is not the race car version, and it's hilarious. It kind of is, but this thing is a whole lot of fun. I mean, it's not necessarily as fun as, you know, the KTM or that Ferrari 812, but I mean, it does its job, and it does its job nicely. It's really not too terribly surprising, but it's also, at the same time, a fantastic addition to Forza Motorsport 7. I mean, you can get it a little bit sideways if you really want to. As well, you know, you can go ahead, tune this thing up, and make it into a proper race car. Because that's what it's meant to do. That's probably what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to turn this thing into a proper race car, get a nice livery for it, and a whole lot of stuff. I mean, this car is going to be pretty damn amazing, if I do say so myself, and I'll use it. I will. It's, you know, not really going to be high up on that spot, but, you know, if I have to use a certain car for a certain division, you know, I might go ahead and just hop in this thing once in a while. You know, it's not a bad car, and I want to see how this thing actually does on the leaderboards, because, honestly, you know, the Porsche 904, it's been so desired. A lot of people have been asking for this car for a long time, but I want to see how it does on the leaderboards, because it's going to be there. It's going to be somewhere on there, and it's going to be good. So next up what we have is we have the Vuhl 05RR. And guys, this thing is pretty damn pretty, if I do say so myself. As well, it's not too bad of a car in and of itself, although I have noticed that at least here on this track, it has a tendency to understeer, and I'm not necessarily a big fan of that, but, you know, I feel like that's probably tunable to, you know, you could probably get it so that it's not going to be so bad on this track. But, I mean, overall, this car is pretty damn amazing when it comes down to the engineering of it. I mean, it is an amazing little track toy. It really and truly is. But as you guys see right there, we had another example of our understeer. And let's go ahead and take it through this corner, and you guys will see what I mean. So that was full through, and you can see we actually ended up going out of the limits, and it reset us. It just doesn't want to necessarily turn quite all the way. I feel like if it could turn just a little bit more, it might be a little bit more fun to have here on this track. But I feel like on, you know, some faster tracks like Dubai, this thing could be fun. Although when you get into that tight hairpin section of Dubai, I could see this thing maybe not being so great. But overall, I do like this car. It is not too bad. And I actually was first introduced to this car because of watching an Instagram video for Supercar Blondie. She was getting into this car and stuff like that. I don't even know who this person is. Like, all of a sudden, it just popped on my Instagram feed one day. And I'm like, you know what, let's go ahead and watch this. That looks like a pretty cool car. And it's not bad. It's not bad at all. But will I be using it? Probably. It's pretty damn good, but I feel like it may need a little bit of tuning to go ahead and get rid of that oversteer, or not oversteer, understeer tendency that it does have. As you guys see, we're coming out there at that corner, and it's just like, ugh! It just does not want to stay tight. That I don't like that necessarily, but I feel like we can probably go ahead and fix that somehow. And you guys saw we were able to actually do something with it. You know, it's not a terrible car. It's not a great car, though, either. And at first, you know, when I took off with this thing and went around the first corner, I thought, man, KTM, get out of the way. Here comes the Vuhl. But in honest opinion, the KTM is still my favorite car so far. So next up what we have is we have the Mclaren 720S. Guys, this is the final car of the Topgear Car Pack. And honestly, I hate to say this because I love the Ferrari 812 Superfast. This car is better. Honestly, you know, this is like probably one of the more powerful McLarens you can get. In fact, I believe that for the average layperson, if you wanted to go out and buy right now the fastest McLaren possible, like all of a sudden you win the lottery, this is the fastest one you could buy, because of course there's the P1 and P1 GTR. However, though, they are a little bit more exclusive, and of course there's also the Senna. But I mean, this thing honestly handles really, really well. Like, for as much power as this thing has, I am so surprised at how well planted this car is. Honestly, it is amazing. And I guess that's McLaren for you, know, like hyper engineering for a hyper car. I mean, it is damn good, guys. This thing is damn good. I'm going to be using the crap out of this now. You know, I didn't know what to expect, especially after getting that 812 Superfast. Knowing how much power was in the 812, and then knowing how much power is here in the McLaren, I thought, man, that McLaren is going to be all over the place. It is not going to be that good. I'm going to hate it, and I really don't want to. But, I mean, honestly, this thing is pretty dang good. It is a very good car. Of course, there's a few minor tweaks that I would like to tune out of it. Like, you know, for example, that little slide that we just had right there. But, I mean, that is fine. This thing also has some active aero, so I feel like that's probably helping it. Where, you know, the lack of active aero in the 812 was kind of hurting it a bit. So, overall, though, this car is pretty fantastic, and I love it. I really do. I wasn't too keen on the looks at first, but they're starting to grow on me. So, guys, that is the end of the Topgear Car Pack, and honestly, this was a fantastic car pack. However, though, as some of you guys know, we still have another 2 cars to go ahead and look at. Because there are 2 brand new free Porsches that were gifted to every single player this month. And we're also going to go ahead and lop those in with the Topgear Car Pack right now. So let's go ahead and take a look at those 2. So first up out of the free cars, we have the Porsche 917-20 Pink pig, and it's called that, well, because there was a couple other reasons why, but I like to say it's because of the livery. However, though, in all actuality, the livery came because of the nickname, so we're not going to get into that, but it does have a pretty awesome livery on it, which kind of shows the different cuts of pork if you're interested in that kind of thing. But guys, of course, this is a Le Mans racer, so we kind of know what to expect from this, just like we did with the 904 Carrera GTS. This thing is honestly fantastic in the corners. I mean, look at that. We are taking that corner pretty damn quickly, and then we just exit and we are full on power. 100, 120. I mean, it is just like, damn. It is there. It is just gone. I mean, if you were able to go ahead and sit behind the wheel of this thing for even like an hour on like a regular street or even the Le Mans circuit, oh my god, you would probably have to go ahead and change your pants because, man, this thing is quick. It takes off like a bullet. I mean, it just does. Look at this. I mean, just listen to it. Oh. You know, just to get to that first corner, we hit 140 something miles per hour. This thing is damn quick, and I'm really loving it. And I know there's been a lot of people also asking for the 917, so congratulations, you finally get a 917 in the game. And finally, what we have is the 2019 Porsche 911 GT3 RS. And guys, this has got to be my favorite Porsche yet. Honestly, this thing is actually really good. It's essentially the same thing as the 911 GT2 RS, or as you guys know it as the cover car, but essentially this one is naturally aspirated instead of being turbocharged like the 911 GT2 RS is. And this thing, though, it just feels so balanced. I mean, the 911 GT2 RS was pretty damn well balanced, and it had just a little bit more power, I think. I don't know, I haven't checked those numbers yet. I will here in a second. And the thing is, though, is this car, it just feels so good to drive. It really handles well, handles perfectly in my opinion. As well, it's got enough power. It's just all around a great package over like a lot of the other Porsches that we have in the game. I mean, Porsche used to be known for essentially crashing. I mean, that's what they did. They crashed. You would have rich people in their Porsches trying to go through roundabouts, and they would crash their Porsches. It was like a sport for some people to go out and watch people crash their Porsches. It's just a thing. But you know, nowadays, these Porsche 911s are so well balanced. It just handles so well. It's got just enough power to make you happy. I love it. I really do. And of course, you can still go ahead and get into a little bit of trouble like we did just there. Get the tires going. I mean, it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. So lastly, with the 911 GT3 RS, this thing is perfectly powered at 514 horsepower, which does make it less powerful than the Porsche 911 GT3 RS. However, though, I lied. I said it was just a little less powerful. It is a lot less powerful, as the 911 GT2 RS has a whopping 691 horsepower. That is almost 700 horsepower, and I should have remembered this, guys, because the 911 GT2 RS is the fastest road-going Porsche ever built. I completely spaced out on this. I was like, man, I think the 911 GT3 is just a little bit less powerful than the GT2 RS. No, I was way off, guys. It's almost 200 horsepower slower. Oh my god, not slower, less powerful, I mean, guys. Holy crap. That is too damn high. Although, I am going to be honest with you, the 911 GT2 RS is a fantastic car. It is pretty well balanced, and it's able to maintain that 691 horsepower pretty well. So, but anyway, though, I think that's where we're going to wrap things up for today. Leave a comment down below and let me know what your favorite car out of these car packs and the 2 free cars is, because I'm curious to see what you guys got to say. As well, if you guys want to, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at twitter.com/Grip113 and Instagram.com/Grip113. And if you guys like this video, go and make sure to hit that like button down below for us, because you guys already know your support is so greatly appreciated. And make sure to subscribe for more videos coming out all the time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out. Bye!